Going live.
Apparently we're live.
Oh,
Right. So we're live now. So here we go. Fire it up.
you
Here
should have
goes
warned me.
the
I would have put pants on. I guess we don't need pants. That's fine.
telephone wearing pants or not. Well, anyway, so here you go.
Yeah. Hit it.
Welcome to Earl and the Idiot, the show that gives you the answers you need to take your business to the next level. With Earl Flormata, one of Vancouver's most sought-after business and marketing consultants, author of Business Engine Optimization, consultant to over 60 successful businesses, an all-around evil marketing genius with a combined total of more than $70 million worth of sales to his credit. And some idiot. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
So I just came back from a BNI networking event this morning at stupid o'clock because that's when they run them at stupid o'clock. And during this intro, I'm seriously considering just grabbing some speakers and when it's my turn, introduce myself with my intro. It'd be fucking hilarious.
Oh, you just throw a little Bluetooth speaker down on the table and start dancing out?
And then just hit play, do the boogie, and then go, and that's me. Here's my pitch, and then stop talking.
Oh yeah, never say anything. Just be like, just point to the Bluetooth speaker. Listen up, everybody. This guy, that's me.
Oh God.
It's just that good.
Although that would be kind of hilarious. I mean, like, yeah.
I mean, it's tough to keep coming up with unique things.
Well, yeah, it depends. Actually, that's not absolutely true. I just joined this cockamamie challenge that one of the boys in the coaching group came up with. He's like, okay, we're gonna do 1,000 social media posts in a row, and I'm like, dear Lord. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I started figuring out what the hell am I gonna do. So I thought, okay, well, Monday we'll do motivational Mondays. And then Tuesdays we'll do tooltip Tuesdays, and then Wednesdays we'll do I don't know. And so what happened was I just started feeding ChatGPT these things, and then I fed it to the AI. I said, "Hey, give me 3 years worth of crap, right? Because if I do them weekly, it's only 52 per round turn, right? And since it's 52 per round turn, oh, hang on a second, people are trying to call me on Facebook. Yeah, I'm in a couple of groups, and then whenever somebody calls the rest of the group, anyway. So I asked it. And it took me about an hour and a half. And now I have 3 years worth of crap to shoot. So when people are like, hey, this is really hard. No, it's not. So you get the AI to ask you a bunch of questions to ascertain information about you. And then you go, okay, now we're ready. I need 160 of these in case 8 of them suck. And so, yeah, it just goes. And it's like 160. I'm like, holy crap. So there you go.
And so this is what, for like LinkedIn or something?
Everything. I'm gonna do the whole market dominating kind of everywhere thing. So you're gonna see these posts on LinkedIn, Twitter, X, whatever the hell it's called now, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, the whole shebang, right? The whole shebang. So I'm gonna shoot a quick and dirty video for each and every one of these things, like a short, like less than a minute type of thing, and we'll just turn them into stuff. And then, if it's a quote or whatever, I'll just read the quote and then give my 2 cents on it. And then they'll just snap the quote with my face and whoever else's face has said the quote. And then we'll turn them into still pictures and stuff. And there you go.
Nice.
3 years worth of daily posts. I'm like, oh, it was longer and shorter than I thought it would take. So
and then if they're good posts, we can turn them into episodes of Earl and the Idiot.
There you go. There you go. That's a good one.
Nice. So here you are doing all this stuff online, but apparently, from what you tell me, you've been busy in person this week.
Oh my gosh, it's I've been to back networking events, and it's been kind of insane, right? So I have 3 stacks of physical business cards about yay high each per event. And now I'm going to invite them all to the yacht party. And so everybody come to the yacht party, come hang out with Dan and myself. If Dan can make it to the next one, then that'd be great.
Nice. So were you just promoting the yacht party, or were you actually out there looking for business?
No, I was out there looking for business. But the thing is, I'm going to drive them to the yacht. And then since they come to the yacht, they're going to see me in the position, right? It's a positioning power play, right? When you drive them there and you're one of the people who put that event on, now you're the host, and because you're the host, you're in a quote unquote higher chair. So hey, they're important because they're the host, right? It's like it's the same idea actually behind this thing, right? So you got two people who are both in the marketing space, Dan and whoever else, right? And one of them is on a podcast. Which one's smarter? Even though you called the idiot, which one's smarter? And because
these
you're
two people, only one calls himself an idiot.
Yeah, but because you're on the podcast, you're like, oh well, this guy is more out there. He's more hip. He's more interesting. I want to hire Dan to make my website because he's on the podcast, and the other guy doesn't do podcasts, so he must not be as interesting, right?
Sounds reasonable to me. Makes a ton of sense.
It's the same concept as having a book, right? Are you really going to read the mortgage broker's book? Probably not. But two mortgage brokers, man, one of them has a book. Which one's smarter? Book guy. Are you going to read his book? Hell to the no. But I'm going to hire him because he's the book guy.
A book on mortgage brokerage. No, thank you.
But that's it, though, right? Like I said, no one's going to read the book, but if you just, it's just a positioning play, right? So when you do the networking thing, you still do your normal pitch, but then you invite everybody to the yacht party afterwards, and everyone's like, wait, there's a yacht party? Yeah. Well, how much is this thing? $10.
You have to actually stand up at this yacht party and make sure everyone knows that you're the big cheese.
Well, I'm usually the guy at the door, right? So I'm usually meeting people, and because I know half the people on the yacht, they all point to me anyways, right? So and like I just go meet the other half of the people, right? So
you just exude being the man with your Earl like aura.
Well, it's the evil marketing genius piece, right? Like if you just position it, then you don't have to work as hard. So there you go.
Sounds like evil genius. So this sounds like a really interesting networking hack you've got, Earl. Do you have any others?
I do, actually. I do. So
yes.
It brings us to the today. We were contemplating on, do we go vanilla or do we go weird? And so I ended up asking the AI overlords the vanilla version and then the weird version, right? And then when I came to you and say, hey, what do you want to do, vanilla or weird? You're like, let's do both. I'm like, why not both?
Let's mix it up.
Let's do this.
Let's whipsaw back and forth from those boring. Okay, but now for those of you listening at home, not watching the video of this, I've got this AI generated networking meeting behind me. Excellent. And I had to pick of all the photos, I had to pick this one. This is a very unorthodox networking hack. This is how you shake hands.
Oh, there you go. That's weird. Yeah, absolutely.
They're shaking like left hand to right hand. Like
AI doesn't quite understand handshaking yet. I guess they look like two dudes just holding hands now.
The two just holding hands like they're about to propose or exchange vows or something. And it almost looks like they're encircling the guy in the middle, like they're kind of like wrapping around.
I thought he was gonna spin him. It's just like woo.
Yeah, or it's like a sort of 3-man game of Red Rover. He's gonna like go walking through the glass
through the arms. Yeah, there you go.
I just like how they're not shaking hands. This guy's like just fully grabbing the other dude's hand from the outside.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty epic. Also, this guy's body looks really tiny in comparison to his head.
Yeah, I guess
otherwise it's amazing.
The AI doesn't know how to do. It's like a perspective thing, I guess. Hey. So there you go.
Oh well. Anyway, you get the idea. If I sit here, it all looks perfectly normal.
Right. Well, you're covering the AI hands, and that's still a thing. So AI
hands. I use that as an insult one of these days. His hands look like they were generated by AI.
There you go. It's the new Seinfeld. What was it? The guy on Seinfeld didn't want to date that lady because she had man hands.
Man hands. Yeah, I was going to say, how often do you insult someone's hands?
Not really. I mean, I have a buddy named Patrick who has hands bigger than everything. He's got farmer hands. Like his hand, like most people, they're palming a basketball. This man just holds the basketball because his hand is that big. And I'm like, yeah, man, like that's big ass hands. So there you go.
All right. So let's get into this. Let's dive right into it.
You want to just alternate between the weird and the vanilla?
Yeah, we're gonna alternate. What's
okay? To scroll up and down then, so that's all right.
Scroll up and down. I can handle that.
Done.
I may be an idiot, but I can handle a scroll wheel on a mouse, I think.
All right.
So 10 best. So the question was, what are the 10 best practices to follow when trying to grow your business via in-person networking? And we have vanilla tip number 1. This is an uninteresting tip. Sometimes the uninteresting ones are the ones people forget the most,
Yeah.
Everyone's always chasing the interesting thing and they forget the vanilla stuff. So number one says set clear goals. Define your networking objectives before attending events, whether it's gaining new clients, partnerships, or industry insights. Having clear goals will focus your efforts.
So
What do you think?
absolutely having clear goals. If you okay, so if you're in a boat and you don't know which direction you want to go, which way do you row? Doesn't matter, right? Because you're rowing the boat. The same thing goes for any business aspect, anything. I don't care if it's networking or marketing or doing whatever, don't care what it is, right? Like if hell, let's just use speed dating, right? What are you into? Don't know. Great. So
how do you know when you found it?
exactly. So you don't know, if you don't have a clear goal, you don't know what you're going after. So you don't know what you're going after. You end up spinning your wheels a lot, right? And I know a lot of people who do this. They go to networking events and they go to networking events, they go to networking events, and they don't have any clear goals. And they go, Earl, I've been to 112 networking events, haven't made a single sale yet. Then I asked a silly question. Did you ask anybody at the networking event for a sale? And they're like, no. The surprised Pikachu face. No, I didn't ask anybody there for a sale. And I'm like, so you didn't ask anybody for, you went to 112 events and you didn't make a sale. Are we surprised? Yeah. Somehow they're still surprised. So you're absolutely right. The vanilla people forget. And I'm like, really? You forgot to set a goal? All right, cool. Way to row that boat.
Yeah, I think it orients your efforts too, because I used to be a little bit less clear on my career path than I am now. And I was I was often just going to networking events just to kind of like see what was out there, you know what I mean? Just see what kind of connections I could make, which is its own thing. But I would end up talking to people for like the whole thing and be like, oh, wait a second, I got nothing out of that.
Yep.
Now you get into a conversation with someone and it very quickly is like, oh, this guy's not going to be a client of mine. And I don't need what he's selling. Let's wrap it up. Great.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks a bunch. Good luck out there.
Call it and then make it go. I like doing the opposite. So instead of selling at a networking event, I just give value, right? And I ask, how can I serve? How can I help? Right. So one of the rules of joint venture is we're going to help each other, right? I'll go first, right? And when you do that, you end up putting them in a position where they're on the back heel. They're not expecting, because most people in networking events are trying to sell you something. I'm like, that don't do that. That's what everyone's trying to do. So if you just help people, they're like, whoa, this is weird. What the hell's going on? You didn't pitch me. You didn't do the elevator thing. You're like, So when you do that, and you just want to help them out, and when you help them out by saying, hi, we're networking here. This is how networking works. I'm going to help you first. And then when you let them go first, and then you let them speak, you can tailor your message to their message, and the efficacy of your message increases. Does that make sense? So there you go.
Yeah, I know one guy I met at a networking event. We did not there, but like the next time we spoke, I just saw an issue he was dealing with, and I just helped him out. I was like, okay, well, just do this and this. That's an area I have expertise in. Gave me a hand. We'd had a friendly conversation, no other reason. And now this guy keeps knocking on my door. Hey, can I do something for you? Can I do something for you? Can I do something for you?
Because they feel indebted to you. They're like, hey, I want to really help you out. You've helped me. Now I want to help you. Right. That is the number one lesson you should have taken from kindergarten. Right. If you scratch someone else's back, they'll bend over backwards to scratch yours. And that's really cool. So the law of reciprocity works like a hot damn.
I just had an idea. I gotta change my background.
Okay. You're gonna put a new weird AI handy high-fivey thing.
Don't call it a handy, Earl.
Yeah, sorry, dude. Yeah, that's rough. I've been up since 7.
Oh yeah, you've been up since God only knows the clock.
Well, no, I've been up since 5 because I was getting ready to go and I had to do some work beforehand, and I left at 6 and I got there at 7. So this is hour almost 12 now. So there you go.
You seem very spry. You seem very on top of things for being up, for being that burnt out.
So I think you get that second wind and then you just pass out afterwards. So we'll see how that works out. It's like, yes, second wind, and then you just die. So I'm probably going to keel over after this.
Something's gone wrong here. Hang on.
Did you break the?
Oh, it's one of these. Everything's in these WebP files now. I don't even know how to use those.
Yeah, it's weird how the WebP became the default image thingy.
And of course, it's the perfect image.
Sometimes I'm just lazy. I'm just take a screenshot and it's like, yeah, screw it, JPEG all the way.
Oh, what is going on? I can't even find a stupid image now. Come on. This is
So if
really
you-
interrupting. This is really interrupting the flow of the show, isn't it?
Why don't we scroll to the second thing? I'll talk about that while you find the image.
Yeah, okay. But I was gonna post the image up and then say something relevant. So we'll have to come back. Okay, just
All right,
allow me
we'll
the
come
chance
back.
to come back.
Post image.
So here is unorthodox networking tip. Off the beaten path is what you actually asked AI. Tip number 1, unorthodox. Collaborate with competitors. What?
Yeah.
Consider collaborating with businesses in your industry that offer complementary products or services. Pooling resources can lead to mutual growth.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's one that somebody asked me. Actually, somebody asked me this on the Tuesday event yesterday. And they're like, how do we grow our business and not cost us a fortune and, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm actually consulting for a dentist right now. And in the dental space, right? I mean, they're still in the medical arena, right? And I'm like, well, okay, let me ask you a question. As a dentist, yes, you pull teeth, but, are you an RMT? No. Cool. Do you do chiro? No. Cool. Right? Do you do injections? He goes, well, yeah, some, right? He might do some Botox, but not all of the different medi spa type things. He won't do the cryo. He won't necessarily do the laser thing, right? So there's some overlap, but not a lot. And so my suggestion was really simple, right? Like do a walk around your area, grab 3, 4, 5 blocks in a circle around your area, grab everybody in your sector together, have coffee with some of these people, and whichever ones you like, you band together to make a simple newsletter. That's it. Everybody's job is to write one thing for the newsletter every month. And then everybody mails the same newsletter to all their peeps. And all you do is you put your stuff up at the top, and then everybody else does.
Of course.
Right? Well, that's the job, right? I mean, it's your newsletter, right? So they're expecting to hear from you, but then you go, and by the way, we're going to partner with a bunch of other people in the same sector, and we're going to share some stuff with you. And that way, maybe you're going to find out that, that dentist that's part of the group is a really awesome dentist, right? And you're like, hey, that sounds really, really good. I need a new dentist. And then you switch over. Or like, my back hurts and I'm a client of the dentist and there's a chiropractor on the list. He's like, yeah, the dentist doesn't do that part. Maybe the chiropractor can fix my neck and my back and everything else. And so what happens is that, let's just say you do this with 10 other players, right? So there's 10 everybody all together, 10 all full out. And if everybody has, it's a nominal number, 500-ish clients that they talk to on a regular basis, right? 10 times 500 is 5,000. You just exposed your business to 4,500 potential new clients. Cost you nothing. Not but an email. And that's it.
I like that tip you came up with about charging your competitors to take the leads you don't want.
Yeah. At the networking event this morning, I explained that technique. And the guy's like, ooh, that's devious. I'm like, yeah. So it's like, what happens when you have too many leads? So that's actually one of the interview questions to join that networking group. You're actually not allowed to join if you can't handle the influx of more business, because then it ends up being bad, and then the referrals look bad, and then by extension, they look bad. And so that's one of their interview questions. And I'm like, here's how you solve that. I gave him the exact same thing that you and I talked about with the painter guy, right? Where it's like, just sell the leads, the excess leads to your competitors, cherry pick all the good ones. But here's the hilarious thing: find the competitors you like the least and sell them the really tough ones, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, such a solid. And then you're giving them the worst one. So in fact, they're paying you to slow them down, which is kind of hilarious. So there you go.
I wish somebody would have paid me for the lead for that guy with the phone stand. Crazy website.
That's rough. Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, ready to backtrack? Here we go.
Oh, we're gonna backtrack. Okay, what's the whoa? Is it just this is not where you can't refuse?
This is my man Don Corleone.
Oh yeah.
From The Godfather.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring this up is you say you help the other person, they feel indebted to you. This is explained a little bit more in the book. I was briefly obsessed with The Godfather, as I think most males are at some point. I actually read the book, and it's explained a bit more in the book that his power, the way he gained power in the neighborhood,
yes,
was he would do favors for people.
And then he'd call the favors.
then so he developed this network of people who felt indebted to him. So anytime he needed anything, right? So he became the one, like everyone felt indebted to this guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's the scene where he's been shot, he's in the hospital.
Yeah.
And the rival gang and the rival mob is coming to finish the job off, right? And this guy's showing up to bring flowers and pay his respects to the guy. And he offers to stand out front and guard his body, not his body, guard his life, put himself in the way of the bullets because the Godfather had been so kind to him over the years.
Right. Number one sales emotion is reciprocity. Number one sales emotion by a landslide.
Yeah. Oh, this might not be really, we might have run out of time here, but
we're back to vanilla.
I had these guys come in. I just have to share the story. I had these guys come in, and they did this thing, fill out the survey or whatever. And this was on a friend's Facebook page.
Okay.
Like, fill out the survey for a chance to win an emergency safety kit.
Oh my God. I did the same thing. I regret it.
And did they come to you? Did you have the meeting or no?
No, we didn't have the meeting because they're like, okay, are you married? Yes. Like, can we go when you and your wife are at home? And I'm like,
yes.
But we have opposite schedules, right? Like when I'm not home, she's home. When she's home, I'm not home because we got kids, right? So we can't just abandon the children and just leave them to their own defense. They'll burn the house down, right? It's like, great, thanks. Yeah. So because I could never show up, I just told them, like, look, either you're meeting with me or this isn't happening. And they're like, nope, we have to have both people there. I'm like, guess this isn't happening. And so I fluffed them off, and they've been stalker calling me since. And I'm like, guys, if you can't just have the decision, if we can't just have me make the decision, then this ain't happening, right? So, and I'm not going to subject my poor wife to this. She's like, you don't know what the hell's going on. So,
right. No, clearly there's orders from HQ that you only pitch with both decision makers in the house, right? Because I said, okay, yeah, sure. You know, my girlfriend lives with me. She can be there, whatever. Come on down. Schedule it up. Day of, my girlfriend's like, I don't want to do it. I was like, okay, you don't have to do it. I'm not going to force you to do it. No problem. Guys show up at my door, the two of them, first of all, reeking of cologne. And you know I'm not a fan of that.
Yep.
And come on in, guys. And they're like, come on in. Coming into an empty living room. And they're like, is your wife here or whatever? I was like, oh, she's not feeling well, so you'll just have to pitch me. They're like, oh, you're standing in my living room. I'm like, you can pitch me. I'm right here. Go ahead. And they go, well, we can come back.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, so we booked the time. I'm already here. She's not feeling well. You
drove all the way here.
Yeah.
By the way, when I said she's not feeling well, I mean she doesn't feel like doing it.
Yeah. I got that.
She wasn't sick. She was fine. Yeah. But to them, she wasn't feeling well. She wasn't feeling well about coming to this thing. So I was like, hey, well, look, I was told I'd got this emergency kit coming to me, and they're like, yeah. You know, if you want to listen to the speech, we'll give you the kit. I was like, well, you'll have to do it to me. He's like, well, no, we'll just reschedule. And I was like, this is how you get them to not call you anymore. I said, well, you can off then.
Nice.
I just said to them, I was like, as a salesman, I cannot put up with bad salesmanship. I don't tolerate it at all.
Well, when someone's offering to listen and they're like, yeah, pitch me, go for it. And I have full answer. I can make the buying decision right the hell now. And you tell them this and they're like, nope, we can't do it because stupid rule from above. Yeah, man, you don't know what you're doing. I literally gave them 3 buying questions and they didn't bite. And it's like, yes, I make 10 times more than my wife. She was mostly a stay-at-home mom before this structure. So of course I make way more than she does. And I'm like, so I make the buying decision for this particular piece. And they're like, okay, well, we still can't do it. I'm like, all right, bye then. So
I know for a fact, Earl, that if you were closed on this thing as being the awesomest thing, you'd be like, hey, wifey, we're doing this awesome thing. And I'm sure she'd be like, great, I trust you. I know you've made the right decision, and that would have been a done deal.
Exactly. Home safety things, man, she loves that stuff. So there you go.
So there you go. Little sales tip. My like and think of the bad will they engender. Here I am talking on my podcast about what a bad job they did
Oh,
and how
absolutely.
annoying they are.
And they got me
And,
too. And they
and
got
you
me too.
And they could have instead made the pitch, left it on a good note, and I wouldn't be complaining about them right now. So
Absolutely. So there you
they
go.
didn't make the right call. But yeah, like I said, I'm sure at HQ they have standing orders. Anyway, took too much time up on that, but I just had to bring it up.
All good.
Here's a vanilla marketing tip. Choose relevant events. Well, that makes sense. That's pretty vanilla. Identify networking events that align with your target audience and industry. Attending events that attract your potential customers or partners will increase your chances of making meaningful connections. Now, I'll say I haven't noticed in the networking events I've attended, I haven't noticed a ton of difference event to event, but maybe my line of work, I can just pitch to anybody.
Well, yours is unisex, right? It doesn't matter who you pitch to. Do you want a website? Doesn't matter which car, right? So, but like as an example, my personal trainer only trains men, right? So because he only trains men, because he specializes in men's metabolism, right? So when he looks at a blood test for somebody, he can't read the female one as well because he doesn't have enough experience, right? So, there's other people who the exact opposite. They help females lose weight. And I'm like, okay, cool. But again, it's a completely different subset of information, right? So yeah, relevancy, like that guy can't go to an all-women event and pitch because it's not going to work. Well, maybe it'll work because that man is beautiful, but the girls will swarm him for another reason. And it's like, hey, do you want your man to look like me? Like he could pull the Old Spice. Your man could smell like, right? And so,
that's an offer you can't refuse right there.
So maybe I'm completely off the kilter. Maybe he should go to an all-women's anyway. So yeah, choose relevant events. It's pretty cut and dry. Obviously, go to the right events, right? So there you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty simple.
Let's move to the weird one.
Let's come on. Good weird one. Offer unique experiences. Organize events or experiences that leave a lasting impression. This could be a workshop, mastermind retreat. Earl's got an idea percolating. I can see it on his face. Or a creative meetup that sets you apart from typical networking events. Earl, what are you thinking? What are you brewing up in your mastermind over there?
So there was this event that you said you wish you could go to. I was taking pictures and grabbing quotes and doing my normal, social media thing. And this was hilarious. So my buddy, his name is Matt. And sometimes Matt is batshit crazy. And he comes up with the most brilliant, dumb ideas I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, this is great. And so he had this cockamamie idea of having foam balls. And he had 6 speakers. And again, this is that thing where the speaker that won got a sword. I'm like, dude, you should have told me. I would have needed for a sword. Anyway, they're chucking foam balls.
You're still bitter about that.
It was a cool sword. I'm like, damn it, it was a katana. And I'm like, So
all right.
So anyways, a unique experience. This was hilarious. Everybody was laughing their ass off, right? And the hilarious thing is it's a freaking foam ball. And this place was huge. And if you're in the back row, there was zero chance, a snowball's chance in hell of you making that ball hit the front. Like, and you could be the biggest, strongest arm in the world. It's a freaking foam ball. It's never going to make it. So the hilarious thing was
you had a foam ball's chance in an auditorium.
Yeah, foam ball's chance in an auditorium. And here's the hilarious thing. The layout was special. So there was VIP seats up in the front. And those poor VIP people, because the guys couldn't reach, all got shot in the back of the head with the foam balls. And it was freaking, I was way at the back, just absolutely dying at the lack of structure for this thing. And everybody was totally into throwing the balls, and the speakers were like dodging, and it was so a unique experience. People are still talking about this today. And it was hilarious how different demographics completely took it in a different way. So one of my buddies, he's in an older generation gap. And so he's like, this was distracting. I didn't like the ball thing. And everybody in their 20s and 30s was like, this was hilarious. And they were just like, throw more balls. And so, because they were super engaged, right? So anyways, yeah, offering a unique experience, Matt, good freaking job. Apparently, and I don't know if this is ruining things or if anyone's watching this who knows Matt, we're bringing Nerf guns to the next one. And I'm like, wait, I have Nerf rival. It's not the little Nerf darty things, it's the Nerf ball thing. And I have this
Yeah.
big, crazy, like automatic gun. And I'm like, wait, I'm allowed to bring this thing to the next event. So we'll see. We'll see. This might be very unique. And we might have to get a sponsor for protective eyewear, but we'll see.
Oh my God. I used to have something called the Nerf NB1.
Yes.
This is way back in the day. Do you remember this one?
Yes, I remember the NB1.
You do
I'm
this.
such a Nerf nerd. It's just
Oh,
terrible.
I love that thing, man. It's slow because like you got to feed the dart onto the kind of spike each time. But
Yep.
man, it would go far, and you could fire it with a lot of accuracy.
I think they ended up banning some of these because they were too strong and you can knock somebody's eye out or whatever. I think the NB1 was one of those banned one lists. I think.
Oh.
I remember correctly. I forget now.
And I see them on eBay, but maybe nobody's bothered to just scour eBay for banned Nerf darts.
There you go. But there you offer unique experiences. We're still talking about the damn foam balls. Good job, Matt. And now we're talking about Nerf guns, and someone's gonna go down. There you go.
You let me know when that Nerf event is. All right, I'm showing up.
Absolutely. Okay, back to vanilla.
In fact, well, I was just gonna say, I just need to ask, if you're sitting in the front in the VIP section, you get pelted with a foam ball that was intended for the stage. Are you considered obligated to forward it onto the stage at that point?
That's what happened.
It was,
They actually
right.
did pass it. They paid it forward. It was, yeah.
Because it's a vote for the guy on stage. The guy should get it.
Yep, absolutely. So the guy, they everybody just passed it forward, but it was just hilarious watching the first volley hit the backs of the VIP's heads. So that's pretty funny. So
Nice.
I'm glad I didn't buy a VIP ticket at this point.
Nah. All right. Excuse me. Back to vanilla. Quality over quantity. Instead of trying to meet as many people as possible, focus on building meaningful relationships with a few key individuals. A few strong connections are more valuable than many weak ones.
Okay, I disagree with this one. Because at a networking event, you're supposed to open the funnel. You're supposed to go wide, right? Because you never know what kind of conversations you're going to have with these people. So the more people you meet at the networking event, the better. And then on the follow-up, be choosy. So on the follow-up, do quality over quantity. But in the networking event, it is speed dating. You got to meet as many people as humanly possible, shake hands, collect cards, kiss babies, leave as best as an impression as you can. But for the love of all things holy, do not be a stage 5 clinger and hold on to that one person for the whole event. And the only person you meet is that one guy, because it could be great, it could be creepy, right? So don't be the creepy one, is what I'm saying. Like I have people who've met me at events and they're like, oh, he talked to me. And then and I'm like, oh,
Yes.
God, they're following me. Like I have to make excuses. I'm gonna get some food. I'm gonna get a drink. I'm gonna go pee. Leave me alone. And so,
I did that. I did that at the yacht party the other day. Whenever it was, I was there. There was the one guy, like everyone's talking all around him, and he's just standing holding his drink, like with this kind of like
spaced out look,
stunned look on his face.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, poor guy. No one's talking to him. I'll go up and talk to him." And as soon as he opens his mouth, I was like, "This was a mistake," because he was like, "Oh yes, hello, thanks. I'm very interested in business opportunities." And he's just like moving.
Oh no, and he's a close talker too. Great,
he's a close talker.
There you go.
And whatever you
just go through the Seinfeld list of reasons why I don't date people, and then you get them all.
He was in one of those lines of work that when someone tells you, "Oh, what line of work you in?" and they answer you, it just sounds like, like you. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what line of work he was in, but I know in my head it sounded like a mosquito in my ear is what what his line of work sounded like. And I was just like, abort.
What do you do?
Abort.
Network marketing. What do you do? Financial planner.
Yeah. I arrange social. I arrange structured software engineering opportunities for financial. Oh God! No! Stop talking to me.
And we
God bless you.
Binary system. And we pay you for the. Oh my God! Run away. So
yeah, I wish you nothing but success, but not with me.
There you go.
But yeah, it's true. I generally try to, when I'm having a conversation, I try to get it to the point where the guy goes, "I should get your business card."
Right.
You said enough to them.
Yeah.
You said enough where they want to know more. Give him the business card, get his business card, and then bail. And then, like you say, do the more meaningful conversation later.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So just make the connection. If it's a fit, fantastic. If it's not, then run. Right.
Yeah. All right. We don't disagree with Chat GPT very much, but we did in this case.
Yeah, I disagree wholeheartedly on that one. So there you go.
All right. Here's your next. What's the opposite of vanilla?
It was the weird
Off the beaten track.
Off the beaten
All
path.
right. Yes. Kinky ideas for networking meetings.
Yeah, that's a little.
No? Okay. Well, scratch that. You'll edit that out in post, right?
No,
This isn't live, is it?
this is live.
Oh my God.
We said Anthony and Kinky in the same episode.
Oh my God.
There you go.
What would Don Corleone think? All right. Tap into unconventional spaces. Attend conferences or events that are not directly related to your industry, but attract your potential clients.
Oh,
This
boy.
can introduce you to a fresh audience and unique opportunities. Oh, now what do you got?
Oh, geez. So, okay, I was dragged kicking and screaming to Chicago to this weird ass event for, I'm like, why are we going to this event? And it was for, and this is like 13 years ago now. It was the Museum Store Association. The Museum Store Association.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
what the hell? And so I got sent, and I'm like, wait, there's a speaker spot at the Museum Store Association. I'm like, friggin' cool. So I took the speaker spot. I went up and I just taught the museums how to internet, right? So I was like, how to internet for museums was the name of my talk.
This
And
is back when they invented the internet, right?
well, yeah. So apparently none of them actually use the internet. And I'm like, what? And so I gave the most basic talk in the universe. Like it was the most basic talk in the universe. And honest people have ever heard of this stuff. So they thought I walked on water. So they all rushed my booth afterwards and said, we loved it. And I'm like, okay. And like my tips were like the most vanilla tips you've ever heard in your life. Use Google Maps. Put your stuff in Google Maps. Put the dates that you're and the times that you're open, so people stop calling you and asking you dumbass questions. They're like, "This is great." And I'm like, "Really?" Like, use YouTube. Take your phone. Walk through the museum. Show some of the cool stuff. Put it on YouTube. And they're like, wow, this is the best thing we've ever heard. I'm like, you've never heard of YouTube? And so it was just, and then they started doing it. And the hilarious thing is all their sales went up. And they're like, this is the best thing ever. I'm like, this is the basics of marketing 101. And so, but we tripled our sales at the booth because they were so Don Corleone, like, you treated us so well. And so, man, like we tripled the sales. I'm like, hell is going on? So there you go. So, unconventional. I thought that this would be a terrible location. I thought that this would be a terrible trade show. It was not. It was one of the most fun I've ever done. Museum Store Association, you guys rock. So there you go.
You know, I've always said that in sales. One of my mottos of sales is, hey, you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
You know, don't get an ego. Don't get too good. Don't fail to pitch the guy just because his girlfriend's not there. Just go for it. Give it a shot, you know?
Yeah. You hear that, safety guys? I would have bought your crap probably, you know. So there you go.
It's actually a good idea. It's multi monitors throughout your house, like smoke detectors, heat detectors, carbon monoxide detectors throughout the house that all communicate with one another. And then you have an alarm that's on your bedside table. So if there's a fire in the garage, you get the alarm right. It'll tell you faster than the one that's in your house. You know,
oh, that's smart,
right?
I would have seriously considered that. Anyways, too late now.
Loss. Too late now.
There we go.
All
okay,
right. Back to vanilla.
The fourth vanilla.
We're on vanilla 4. Follow up promptly. Oh, that is vanilla, man. After the event, reach out to the people you connected with to show appreciation for their time and continue the conversation. Personalized follow-up emails or messages are more effective than generic ones. Goddamn right.
Absolutely. Okay, so I agree and I don't agree. So yes, follow up promptly. Absolutely. I have a crazy generic message, and my crazy generic message is either if you're interested, come to the meetup that I run on every Tuesday, or want to party with me on a yacht. And it's the same generic message I use for everybody, but because it's such a weird juxtaposition, hey, want to join me on a Zoom call, or would you like to party on a yacht, or you want to do both? Right? So the generic message that I use is interesting enough that people want to come party on a yacht for $10. So there you go.
Okay, but for people who don't have a yacht at their disposal,
make an interesting generic piece, like be fresh, be new, be something that they haven't seen before, so that when you do post that, right? Like I'm working on this series called The Most Interesting Marketer in the World. I'm gonna try to get a photographer to take a picture of me. Obviously I can't grow the luscious beard that you have, but that most interesting man in the world, I want to see if I can replicate kind of the feel of it. So we'll find some bar, take the shot, do the most interesting marketer in the world, and then just do dumb shit I've done. Like, I rode a sea-doo into a hurricane in the Bahamas and then got stung almost in the nuts by a jellyfish. I got weird stories, bro. So it's just like, okay, well, that's a weird story. So, I can pull this most interesting marketer thing off because I'm a half decent storyteller, and I've done dumb enough stuff that the stories are entertaining, right? So there you go.
All right, but we should follow up promptly.
Absolutely, yes. Follow up promptly. The generic message has to be sexy enough that you can use the same generic message for everybody, but make it sexy enough that people actually do want to call your ass back. So there you go.
Right. Or just send them a real communication that's like personal to the conversation you had. Hey, you said blah. I really need to talk to you about that because I got something that'll blow your mind. Absolutely. Or whatever. Right?
You're gonna like the next weird one. It's gonna be very good to who we are and what we do. So, and I didn't even cherry pick. I'm just like, this one. Hey, that's hilarious.
You highlighted them. I assumed you were all right.
I wasn't reading them. I just said random number.
Yeah. Start a podcast or
I actually have dice. I was rolling random. I'm like, okay, 7, 3, 5. We have to go on air, right? So like, so I just grabbed. And then I read this one after the fact. I'm like, excellent, good job, dice. Thank you.
One day we'll do show prep
generator.
One day we'll do show prep, but it is not this day.
No, not today.
All right, this tip for networking: start a podcast or video series. Ta-da! We are way ahead of you, ChatGPT. Create content where you interview industry leaders. I'm doing that right now. I'm interviewing an industry leader. That's Earl. Customers or other interesting individuals. This can help you connect with influential figures and widen your network.
We're trying to get this show big enough that people recognize you and actually have the panache and the gall to call you an idiot. That is our goal. If we have gotten,
we were so close.
One guy almost did it. And so if we get someone to randomly call it at a networking event, we have succeeded, and there you go. We are now internet famous. So
yes. So those of you watching at home, feel free, if you see me at an event, check with her. You see Earl, be like, is that the idiot? And then come on over to me and be like, you're the idiot.
There you go.
And please, for the love of God, if I'm talking to someone, interrupt me to say it, because that'll make me so much more interesting. If I'm in the middle of a conversation.
You know what we're going to do? When I get my next client, I'm going to take $50 from that client, give you a Starbucks card worth $50 or something like that. And we'll just have it as a winning thing, right? And we'll just do this. And the
keep it in my wallet
to find you and call you an idiot in public gets
while I'm in the middle of a conversation with somebody.
While in the middle of a conversation, it has to be interrupty. Like it's almost as bad as knock knock. Who's there? They're interrupting cow, right? Move.
Yeah.
It has to be that interrupty, and you have to be. And here's the deciding factor: the person that you're talking to has to be in abject horror and shock for it to be.
Yes,
the other person has to go.
Yeah. That'll be good.
There's off the beaten path. And then there's us.
Then there's way off the beaten path.
There you go. All right.
I mean, they're never going to forget it, whoever I'm talking to.
I love it. There you go. And I'll put $50 towards this cause because I believe in this mission. So
next yacht, it's on.
So
all right.
You can't know Dan already. So if you don't know him yet, there you go. Because it has to take him and the other guy by surprise.
Yeah. There we go. We got to have the rules very clear. You got to be a listener of the show. So you know what we're talking about. Can't be a friend of mine. Can't be somebody who's like, can get away with it.
Yeah.
It's got to be a little scary. You got to be a little bit concerned about it. I'm just going to run up and call some guy I've never met in public an idiot in front of somebody I'm talking to.
Well, what would you do for a Klondike bar? What would you do for $50? There you go. Boom.
50 Starbucks.
50 Starbucks. Awesome. All right. We're on to vanilla number 5.
Is that when you have a gift card? Why do they not call them? These are Starbucks. Like
That was a missed opportunity.
why did I just think of that just now? All right. Anyway, start a video series or a podcast, everybody. Vanilla number 4.
Last vanilla.
Vanilla number 4.
Number 5.
Track your results. Keep a record of the connections you make and the outcomes of those interactions. Measure the success of your networking efforts and adjust your approach as needed. This may be super good, but it does not appeal to me at all.
Well, when I say track your results, what I'm thinking is do split tests on open intros, right? So as an example, I split test an intro with, for those of you who know me, my name is Earl. For those of you who don't know me, my name is still Earl, right?
Hey-o.
So I use that as an opener, and then I split test that with who wants to party on a yacht, right? And so I'm tracking the results. And the funny thing is the joke actually beats the yacht. But if you put the joke and then the yacht, it actually combos it harder. So if I open with the yacht, it doesn't actually, I seem pretentious and I'm an asshole, right? If I do the joke first, now I'm funny, right? But if I do the joke and then I go party on a yacht, no joke, we're actually serious, right? And then I show them selfies of the yacht and they're like, hey, that's really cool. And I go, what's it cost? And I say $10. And they're like, oh my gosh. And then they just come running. They're like, how do you get away with this for so cheap? And the secret is we never leave the harbor. It just sits there moored. And we're just
save big on gas.
As just a venue. That's it.
I want to party on the boat next time it's in dry dock.
I don't know.
Like actually haul the boat up on land and let's go party on it.
There you go. The ultimate pretentiousness. There you go.
Yeah. So this may appeal to I know some people are very meticulous in their habits. I'm totally the opposite.
But you got to track your open pitches to see which is the one that's the best, which is the best opener, right? So I mean, don't sit there with like a freaking golf tee and like a notepad and say, 17 people at this event and 2 people at this event and 3 people. No, that's crazy. You don't have control over that variable, but you have control over what you say, right? So take it was the serenity prayer. Give me the courage to change what I can and the patience to to live with what I can't and the wisdom to know the difference. There you go.
So here's my question: when you were measuring the effectiveness of your pitch,
yes,
versus yacht versus whatever, what are you actually measuring? What results? What's your
number
KPI
of cards.
as you
Number of cards?
Oh, number of cards you get.
Yeah.
So you get up at a talk, like you speak, and then you see how many people come up and give you a card and say, well,
because at these networking events you get the pitch for 5 seconds with who you are and what you do, and everyone gets to listen to you for like that little bit. And so I pitch one way, I pitch another way at another event, I pitch another way at another event, and I just start to pay attention, and I'm paying attention to the crowd. It's almost like a comedian, right? A comedian tests their jokes by testing stuff, like a networker tests their openings by testing stuff. And the better the reaction, right? Like I have mad props to Kayvon and Reza. So Kayvon came up with this and Reza pulled it off. He stood up on the yacht. That guy has balls of solid rock. I just swear to God. And he says, hi, my name is Reza. I give happy endings. And then paused. And then said, for businesses. And I'm like, but were you there? The whole boat erupted into laughter. And every single other intro seemed pale in comparison. And I told
you these were kinky tips for networking.
There you go. And it was hilarious. He was like, oh, by the way, I'm an accountant. And it was just, oh my gosh, it was the whole.
That is a good one too. I like that. Give the most interesting pitch you've ever heard, and then tell him that you're in the most boring possible line of work. That's good.
But
like
the juxtaposition was so powerful that everybody rushed him afterwards. Everybody else who tried to riff off of his intro and failed miserably. No one held a candle to Reza. So Kayvon, if you're watching this thing, dude, you have the best damn opening for like I'm still jealous of Kayvon's opening. He's like, people call me Kayvon, Big K. He's really tall dude, so he's Big K. And then he just self-deprecates or Special K, and that's it. Like I hate following him afterwards because he's legitimately funny, and I'm like, oh damn, I can follow K. So like, there you go.
No, right. Okay, now I got to one up Kayvon.
There you go. Hi, my name is Dan, and I'm an idiot.
Yeah. That would be on brand. Okay, I'm gonna chew that one around. See how good I can get it.
Well, we'll see what you got.
All right, we gotta rush along here.
There's the last one.
This is the last weird wacky hack. Participate in charity events. That doesn't sound very wacky. Get involved in charitable activities aligned with your values. Contributing to the community can lead to positive word of mouth and new connections. I guess that is a little unorthodox, but I like it actually. I like the sound of that.
Not everybody does this. This makes absolute sense. I have made millions of dollars doing this, right? We used to do all of the golf tournaments that were for charity, and we would raise a ton of money for charity. We raised like $1 million on a tournament for charity using golf events. And so charity events, and the hilariousness of it is when you did do this, you got so much good networking because everybody who was a sponsor had to show up because they're like, well, we sponsored the damn things. We have to bring our foursome to the golf course, and everybody got to meet them. And this was a fantastic methodology. So charitable events, absolutely. Yes. And yeah, it is weird. It is off the beaten path because not everybody does it. But then once you understand the power of the network that charity brings together, oh, it's a weapon to behold for sure. So.
Beautiful.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. I've always heard the advice on dating where it's like, instead of just looking for a partner all the time, just go do stuff you're interested in or you think is cool and meet people there.
Well, then
it's
you're
kind
going to
of a similar thing, right?
At the thing that are cool. Ta-da! And now you have definitely a common element that you guys can both talk about, and it's like, hey, we're into this.
Perfect. All right.
Is it about that time?
It's about that time. Let me get right on this microphone.
Here we go.
Hack of the week.
Hack of the week. I'm going to give a vanilla hack of the week, because this is something that needs to be said. I have gone networking with a bunch of folks in our group, and you people will know because I'm making fun of you right now, right? So when you know, the hack is network with a buddy. Network with a buddy. Okay.
All right.
And that unto itself is vanilla enough, but I didn't think I had to explain this one, right? So back in the olden days, this was like 2008, so not that old, but far enough back. Darcy Rizak used to be like a higher up at this the Vancouver Board of Trade, and he has this book on networking. And inside the book on networking, I read this simple hack: network with a buddy. Always sit 2 seats away from your buddy. 2 seats away. So it's me, 2 other people, and then let's say it's Dan, right? So if one of us isn't talking, or one of us gets stranded in mid-conversation and we're done, right? And it's like, okay, well, they're just sitting there, right? What you do is, because you're 2 seats away from them, you literally have 2 people on your left, 2 people on your right, right? So what happens is that whoever is the stronger networker is, they hand off their person to the buddy. Oh, hey, have you met Dan? He makes excellent websites. You were just talking about that. You guys should talk. And then you disengage, and then whoever the better fisherman is, because there's going to be a better closer and a better opener. There's always that dynamic between the two of you, right? So if someone's a better opener, let the opener do their thing, let the closer do their thing, right? And then you go back and forth. And so you sit 2 people apart at all times, right? You never sit next to the person you go to the event with if you're there to network. It's not a date, right? Don't sit next to them. Sit 2 people apart, right? Then you've got access to 6 people, if that makes sense, right? If you only sit 1 person apart, you've only got access to 3 people between the 2 of you, right? So sit 2 people apart. That's one thing. If you forget somebody's name, introduce them to your buddy. Oh, hey, have you met Dan? Totally person, I forgot your name. Right? Well, what's going to happen is they're going to introduce themselves, right?
Yeah.
The dating equivalent of this is like, if you totally forget the name after a one-night stand, bring them to Starbucks, they're going to put the name on the cup, right? So that's another networking hack. So, yeah. But then the other
problem with me is I got to bring 2 buddies because I'll forget the name the second time too. I'm too good at forgetting names.
There you go. Well, then double down on the buddies, and then the next is refer people to each other. This is the last bit of the hack of the week. Refer people to each other. It's less boasting. So my old buddy Jason, who was my old business partner, we're still friends. We don't really do business together because he's moved kind of farish away for us to do networking events. But what happened was we got so good at sending people to each other, right? You just get so good at introducing the other guy that we literally had people like a beaten path between the two of us. So he would pick one side of the room, I would pick the other. We were both very good introductory people. So we would just chuck people at each other from across the room. And we would just throw people at each. It was hilarious because you could literally see people like just lining up and walking back and forth. And you know that the guy sent them because they're looking for the, whatever, right? So like I used to never wear a hat. Actually, the reason why I started wearing hats was in honor of Jason, because he was the hat guy. I would actually send people, go to the guy with the hat on. It's always a baseball cap on the other side of the room, and they would just go beeline to him. And I always had, because we live in Vancouver, it's always raining, I always had this katana umbrella. So it's an umbrella with a katana handle, so it looked and like, see the guy with the sword umbrella thing? Yeah, go talk to him. And that was our thing. We would just chuck each other back and forth, the hat and the umbrella. And it was a fantastic dynamic. So Jason, if you're watching this, I do miss working with you, bro. But that was that's actually the reason why I started wearing hats, as part of my branded image, because I miss Jason. So there you go. So there's another secret trick, secret piece you learned about me. So. Nice.
I used to have the sort of British gentleman fencing sword type umbrella.
Oh yeah, I do remember that thing.
Right, because I'm British, well, half British.
There you go.
All right. Well, I think that's very useful. I hope everyone has learned something today.
Did you learn anything, Earl? I like the concept of half and half. So half vanilla, half off the beaten path, and then the jumping back and forth was an interesting dynamic.
Excellent. That's my hack of the week.
There you go. Switch it up. All right. I'll play us out.
Thanks for listening to Earl and the Idiot. We hope you learned something you can take action on this week. For more information or to contact the show, visit earlandtheidiot.com. And until next time, remember what Shakespeare said. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool.
Thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks ChatGPT. Thank you, Earl.
Thank you.
See you next week.